Hello, is this Rustin?
Yeah, Mark.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Going good. It's good to get a chance to chat with you again. I think the last time we spoke was back when you guys were doing the Outbreak tours, so it's been a while. Happy Labor Day.
Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, it has been a while. Good 3 years. Yeah, happy Labor Day.
Now, you guys are out on one of the biggest tours of the year, New York tonight, I believe. How's the tour been so far?
Oh, it's just been excellent. So many new people, new fans. Yeah, it's great. We're winning them over every night, and I'm really stoked to be on a good tour. The good thing was, like, coming onto this tour, we already knew everybody. We've toured with pretty much everybody before, so it was just, oh, cool. You know, you don't have that awkward phase to where you go the whole tour, and it's like, oh, I've seen this guy's face, but I still haven't introduced myself, you know. So it's pretty cool. Everybody knows each other. Everybody's super friendly and works well together.
Absolutely, and I caught you guys on the Boise tour back in July. You guys stole the show. I mean, great bands all around, but you guys just had it going that night, and very impressed, as always, with your performance, so thank you for that.
Oh, damn, that's too kind. I appreciate that, Rustin. It was fun.
You guys always have such energy and drive, and also you've got Bad Wolves out with you. Have you guys sort of taken them under your wings a little bit?
Yeah, you know, it's been cool. Like, touring with anybody, you're around each other so much, so you inevitably get into deeper conversations and get to know each other a lot more. It's been great. What's cool about them to me is they've actually been at it, longer than us, longer than most bands, for sure. Not as Bad Wolves, because, Tommy's been in several different bands, and Doc used to be in, God forbid, for 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
And John was in Devil Driver. So it's pretty cool, and hearing their stories, getting to know them, and, just respecting their musicianship, for sure. They're great players.
Definitely, a lot of talent in that band. So it's a great tour. You guys, this has been just a huge year for nothing more. 3 Grammy nominations. You played Shiprock, huge tours. Have you adjusted to all of this, or are there still days when you feel like you have to pinch yourself?
That's a good question. Yeah, there's definitely, those moments where you sit back and you take a breath, and you have to be present in the moment and really count your blessings. We're very thankful for a lot that has come to pass, and we're very proud of our art and our music, and honestly, just how it's affected everybody. As a musician, you only hope your art can reach more and more people because you believe in it, and you stand behind what you're saying and what you're putting out there. So when you hear stories come back at you about, this song's changed my life, these lyrics really got me through this hard time, that's all you could ever hope for. That's why we started this band in the first place. Our first album was called Shelter in 2004, and we wanted our music to be that to people. So our mission statement has stayed the same, and we're unbelievably stoked that more and more people are joining the family.
It's interesting that you say that, too, because there are so many powerful and meaningful tracks on The Stories We Tell Ourselves, the new album. And I imagine Fade In, Fade Out is probably the one that hits home most for you, but I know it struck a chord with me for some of those very reasons. I just watched my mother lose her fight with Alzheimer's dementia a couple months ago, and it really strikes a chord,
Man, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. That song is more personal to me. I actually just got news yesterday. Well, I guess it wasn't yesterday, a couple days ago. We had gone to Detroit a few months back, and this older gentleman had reached out to us and said that, he was just diagnosed with terminal cancer and he had 6 months to live. And that the song Fade In, Fade Out really connected with him, and he wanted it played at his funeral, and it helped his relationship with his daughters and his son. And we got to meet him. Ironically, his name was Mark, and it was really emotional meeting him, and I had just got news that he passed a couple days ago. So, yeah, that's really hard. Not even, I don't even know this guy. I don't know anything about him, but I don't know, for him to tell me that and tell me how much that song meant to their family is really special. And that's how powerful music can be. And I'm so honored to have been a part of that and to hopefully help people and do that.
And you've said it before that it's sort of therapy to be able to write, and it's its own sort of catharsis in a way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Now, you guys showed a different side of yourselves on Just Say When, a poignant relationship song about sort of that point of complacency and stagnation so many relationships reach where you have to decide whether to stay or move on. What was sort of the inspiration to that one?
That song was kind of birthed out of exactly what you just said, mainly for Johnny in his relationship and his marriage, and which ended in divorce 2.5 years ago. But while we were writing the song, it was just all happening, and had been something that they had kind of been at that place for a while, that limbo land of where you don't know whether to hold on or to let it go and break it off. It's one of the worst places to be. I know for me, what I really connected with was kind of the coexisting aspect. I know my wife and I, unfortunately, get to that place sometimes to where you just kind of feel like you're roommates, and that's sad. And not to say that's unrealistic, to think that things can be peachy all the time, because that's not, it never happens that way. And there's going to be ups and downs, of course, but it is kind of sad when you get to that place and it's like, oh man, where's the spark? Where's the passion? Or you're just a roommate.
Right. Have you gone too far to revive it, or when do you take that? When do you move on? That seems to be something we've all dealt with at some point or another, and I think that's why your songs, your music connects so well with people. Yeah,
you're right. It's sad, but these are stories that people can relate to, and that can help them get through, and really to say, I'm not alone. And we as people, we need that. We're not meant to be alone. We need each other, and especially maybe now more than ever.
And we're like at the 1-year anniversary of the release of the Stories We Tell Ourselves. You guys released it last September. You've had a long time to live with the record and tour on it now. Has your perspective of the album changed at all after a year of sort of doing all of this?
That's a good question. No, I don't think so. I'm still just as proud of it as I was before we released it. I think in hindsight, you're 2020, everything's a lot clearer, and you understand more and understand what this meant, I guess, better. So to me, I guess the only thing that's changed is actually physically seeing people relate to it, and just sharing their stories, saying, man, this album's awesome. It's helped me. I love that I can listen to it from start to finish, that there's no filler track, which is awesome, because that's definitely our goal. We don't believe in filler. We try to, cradle all of our songs and put as much time and energy into them as if, every song were a single, if you will.
So now, usually when you go in to make an album, a lot of the songs are pretty well conceived. Was there a particular song on The Stories We Tell Ourselves that sort of took on a life of its own after you started recording?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Probably a few, but the one that sticks out to me is Funny Little Creatures. That song started from a very different place, and even going in to record the drums and the rest of the parts, so much changed after the fact. The intro, both verses, they were completely different. Different lyrics, different melody. We had to try so many different things in order for us all to be like, okay, now it's ready. Now we're proud of it, and we believe in it. And it took me, that one specifically, a little while to understand that it's like, okay, I need to focus on this funny lyric, and them being the funny little creatures and the irony of that, and bringing it into the beginning, that first lyric of the song, into those ironic things. It's funny how I can give the best advice, but I can't take it for myself, type of thing. And actually tying the title of the record, The Stories We Tell Ourselves, I got to fit it in there in the second verse, which is pretty cool. Took us a while, but I managed to do it.
Well, and that's one of the I think, 2 tracks that Clint Lowry was involved in. How did he sort of get involved in this whole thing?
Yes, sir. It was. Clint's definitely been a hero that we've looked up to over the years. We've all been Seven Dust fans forever. And his guitar playing is just awesome. It's moved all of us. And we got to meet him through a mutual friend, and we kind of kept in touch. He actually helped us out early on with the self-titled release. He heard a couple songs, loved them, and got to put us on a few Seven Dust shows. And then from there, we kept in touch, maintained the relationship, and always talked about, like, hey, maybe we can collaborate, on this next record. And finally, it took that song, especially Funny Little Creatures, us sending that to him, because we were kind of clueless. Johnny had this crazy programming idea, which was really neat, but we didn't know what to do with it as a band. So we sent it to him, and he riffed on it, did a few ideas, and then they sent us it back, and it was like, oh, yes, this is what we need to do. This is where we need to go. And so we flew him down. We got to jam that out, as well as work on and conceive the song Tunnels, which was just jammed out in the rehearsal jam room, and the song happened very quickly, and he helped write that one lyrically too, which was a cool experience.
I think he did a little guitar work on one or both of the songs. Was that sort of weird for you as the primary guitarist to have somebody else sort of come in and play with you as well, or add to it?
Oh, it was super cool. Like I was saying before, he's been a hero of ours, and yeah, as a guitar player, he's a big influence of mine. So it was awesome to be in the room and kind of hear him shred a bit, and to see his ideas play out and work together. He did record on both the songs. You can probably hear some of that influence, and if you're a guitar player, you could probably tell which guitar part is his and which one is mine. And that was really neat. And we still keep in touch now, and he's a close friend of mine, which is pretty cool when your heroes become your peers. And I'm very thankful and honored that could be the case. I would have liked more if, we only flew him in for those couple days to just kind of write the songs, and then we just kind of kept in touch via email. And he lives in St. Louis, and we're based in Texas, so it made the process. It was fine. It all worked out, and whatnot. He ended up recording, up there. But I wish, if time or money wasn't a factor, that he could have actually been there in the studio and us worked on the ideas together there, just for the sake of experience. I'm super happy with the parts he laid down and all the ideas. But yeah, maybe in the future we could do that with him or other people as well.
Now, you mentioned the album title a minute ago. I love the album title, The Stories We Tell Ourselves. It just seems so relevant and appropriate given the state of things these days. People are always talking about fake, false news, but I feel so many people are living in denial based on a false narrative they've contrived for their own comfort. Is that sort of what you're seeing?
Yeah, that's so well said. Absolutely, Rustin. Yeah, sometimes the stories we tell ourselves aren't the stories we need. They're just the stories we want. So we can blindly follow them and follow them to our own demise. In so many cases. And we're not saying one side's right, one side's wrong. We're really just pointing out the sad truth of it all. Really in the first song, Do You Really Want It? It's really pointing the finger back on ourselves. Everybody wants to change the world, but nobody wants to change themselves. And like Gandhi said, the only way you're going to do that is to be the change you see in the world.
Exactly. You guys will be on the road for the remainder of the year after you finish this tour. Bullet for My Valentine in Europe, I think, 3 Days Grace in Canada. Are you already writing for and looking ahead to the next record? Because obviously you guys wrote this one back in 2016.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that European tour. That's going to be a lot of fun. I know those guys have been at it for a while, so it'll be cool to get to know them on a deeper level, both those bands. And to your question, we have started writing, but at this stage, it's all individual. I've maybe cataloged like 10 or so ideas to date, and, it comes when it comes. and same for, Johnny and the rest of the guys. We'll just kind of keep at it there. But as far as getting in a jam room and doing it all together, that probably won't happen for another year or so. We just won't have time. We're so busy, and we all definitely respect our families and know that we need to be there for them and give them the time that they deserve, because they are our priority. So especially after the last record and the touring cycle we had with that, we decided with this one to make some changes when we had the power to do so, and to say no to some things and say, no, I'm going to go home. I'm going to be with my wife and son. We can, we'll go back out after we've, respected those wishes, and, the fact that we need to care more about our home lives and our home families.
Absolutely. You don't want to get into that place in those relationships, that just say when place of coexistence. So,
yeah.
Last question just for fun before we get out of here. All right. It's that time of year where I'm gearing up for fantasy football because I'm all kinds of nerdy. What's the nerdiest thing that you get into?
As far as sports goes, I'm from San Antonio, so I love my Spurs. I'm definitely a huge fan. If I had the money, I'd love to get season tickets and go as often as I could. Unfortunately, the state our team is in is maybe a bummer. I don't know. There's a big rebirth. I think the dynasty has really ended. I don't know if you know much about the Spurs or whatever, but, Robinson's gone, Duncan's gone, Parker's gone, Kawhi's gone now. And, we have LaMarcus Aldridge. And, I don't know. I think there's a big rebirth happening, and I'm excited to see that. Other than sports, I'm a big role-playing video game guy. I love playing video games with my son, too. We play all the Marios and stuff. And it's cool that we can do that through the internet. So I'll be on the road, and he'll be kicking my ass from home on Mario Kart.
Mark Vollelunga, Nothing More, out on tour right now with Five Finger Death Punch, Breaking Benjamin, and Bad Wolves, getting ready to head to Europe. The new album, The Stories We Tell Ourselves. Fantastic, fantastic record. Thanks so much for taking some time, as always. And we look forward to seeing you again and seeing what's coming next.
Yeah. Hey, thanks again, Rustin. Really appreciate it. And I appreciate your questions. It's nice getting a good conversation to the heart of things.
Absolutely. Take care, my friend.